Hi everyone, it's just Sandy and
Maki.
I'm Sandy.
And I'm Maki.
So today we are going to be talking about our whole experience being on the vote hosted by Melting Pot Records. As you guys may or may not know, we were in LA for 4 weeks doing this competition.
And it was a survival competition, so we didn't know if we were going to end up staying for 4 weeks or 1 week or 2 weeks. Before we went to LA, we had to do auditions. And so the audition period was online, and it was through online voting. Basically, the top 15 dancers, singers, and rappers got chosen to go to LA to compete. The top 5 that makes it through to the very end of the show will get the chance to debut as a unit, a 5-member unit, under Melting Pot Records.
Alright, so now that you guys know the background information about that, let's get started with the first week.
Dewey, Sadie, and I were heading out together at about 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
I went to sleep at 10, so I got some sleep, but...
I got 1 hour sleep. Sandy and Dewey got to sleep.
Yeah.
I am driving. It's a manual car. I ended up just singing the whole way there.
We couldn't afford to stay in LA with the rest of the contestants, so we reached out to Alex, the CEO of Melting Pot Records, and she offered her place for us to stay. So when we got to her place in Pasadena, we met Alex, and then we dropped all of our stuff. At 11 a.m. we had to meet up with the rest of the contestants for our first live stream. The traffic in LA gets pretty bad, and so Alex, she recommends us taking the public transportation. So she actually taught us how to take the metro train. It was really fun at first. Yeah, and so we took the train to Chinatown, where we met all the contestants.
Actually, we already knew a couple of them, so that was really fun to just kind of reunite with folks. Like Hero is from Sacramento, and we've actually competed against him before, because he's from Flow Alliance and we're from Blazers Generation. Let's see, and Moe, we met him at KCON last year. We were in X Idols, and we were helping put the K-pop battles together, and that's when we met him. We know Dewey, and after everyone met, Alex turned on the live stream. And so we introduced ourselves, and then we chose our teams.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandy Yang. I'm 17 years old and I'm a dancer.
Hi, I'm Maki. I dance, but I like to sing for fun, and I also do art and a bunch of stuff.
Hi, I'm Dewey Olivers, and I hope I can inspire you to dance too.
And she had us do it by categories, so singers, dancers, and rappers.
So when we got to choose our new teams, each team had to do a coin toss to determine whether you're doing an American pop song or a K-pop song.
My group actually got an American song.
My group got an American song too.
Yeah. With the K-pop thing, you're still required to do original choreo mixed in with the dance cover, but in our case, since it's an American song and it's up to 2 minutes,
create your own choreo.
And we'll be doing a vocal cover and original choreo all within a week.
Yes, everything is within a week.
I got team 1, and I was with Lars, Hero, Ruby, and Dewey.
I was in team 3 with Messi, Luna, Cindy, and Genesis.
Actually, we got separated, and so we have 2 completely different experiences. Each team needs to go and have a meeting and discuss what song they want to do and how we're going to execute this. We're still responsible for finding our own practice space and all of the above, because the point of this is a survival show, so it's like all about the challenges. For me, at this point, I was just sleep deprived and drained, and I looked like hell. I learned very quickly that everyone in my team was super sweet. The first thing that Lars and Ruby said was like, "Let me hear your vocals." And so that was kind of scary to me. It's one thing to sing in the car for 8 hours, but it's another thing to like have someone ask you to just bring it out. We realized that we need like a quiet space to actually look at videos, since none of us were well rehearsed with American music anymore ever since we've been in this K-pop hole. Hero had brought his car. He had driven here from Sacramento as well. And so there's 5 people in the team, so he was able to drive the whole team like everywhere the whole week, luckily. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Our first couple of days doing like vocal practice and just splitting up the chunks. And then Hiro and I were both in charge of the choreography, so I decided to take on As Long As You Love Me, and then Hiro would take on the dance break. That actually came out to be very challenging. The mics for the stage performance were actually wired mics, so they're not wireless. We're no longer just working with dancers, but we're working with singers and singing as well, so we had to make sure our choreography was complex enough for the competition, but not too complex that we run out of breath, and not too complex that the singers can't keep up either.
For me, after our teams split up, we actually went to go eat at a restaurant. I didn't really order much because I was still like very scared because I was by myself because I split up with Maki. And then we were talking about song choices, and of course, you know, like Maki said, I'm so deep into this K-pop world that I don't even recognize American music titles anymore. I have to listen to it to recognize the song. And the first place that we actually went to practice our vocals was at Luna's friend's house. We were discussing practicing our vocals, splitting the lines and stuff. Me and Cindy and Genesis were the choreographers of this song. Genesis actually auditioned as a singer, but he can dance too. So Cindy and Genesis are actually from choreos, and so they have experience. The three of us split our parts of what parts to choreograph. After our meeting, Messi got me an Uber, and it was my first time in an Uber, so I was very scared, and I would be going in an Uber by myself. And plus the guy in the Uber wasn't very talkative. He looked very serious. It was very scary for me. And so I went to the Airbnb where they were practicing.
It was scary. Like, should we just pick her up?
Yeah.
Or is she coming to meet us at the Airbnb? Like, it's actually our first time traveling around in LA too. I mean, we were at KCON last year, but our room was literally across the street last. And I know Ubers aren't scary.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. Like, I would call an Uber anytime I want to now, honestly.
But that first time, though, it was like, what?
The first time for me was a bad experience because he was not even talking to me at all, and I was like just so scared, and I'm like, am I even going to the right spot, you know, like, and when my phone was about to die, was that it? Was that the
Yes,
day? My phone was about to die.
your phone was dead.
Oh,
I couldn't contact her, so I had to figure out a way to call Genesis so that I had Genesis' phone number,
yeah.
and then
so yeah, it was just a big mess that day.
It was.
Yeah, so I met up with you guys at the Airbnb.
Yep.
So just to wrap up for the whole first week with my new team, it was very frustrating. People weren't really showing up to practice because they had work, which is totally understandable, or they had other priorities that they wanted to take care of first. They live in LA, so it's understandable that they have other things to do, but it was my struggle because they weren't showing up to practice, and I wasn't able to teach them the choreo that I created. I created choreo for like 3 different chunks of the song, and in the end, one chunk had to be taken out because other people had other suggestions for that choreo already. We had practice every day at UCLA because Genesis and Cindy has access to the UCLA gym. I had to take an Uber or Lyft to UCLA every day. They actually suggested to have practice like 11 p.m. at night until like 2 a.m. at night. I'm a minor and I don't want to take Uber late at night. I don't want to be out late at night by myself. And so I did miss a day of practice because of that. Basically, the whole experience was just very depressing, but it has taught me a lot, and it has helped me grow and become more independent, actually. So
yeah, but the whole like 11 p.m. thing, even Alex was like, no, like, yeah, you're a minor. Why are you traveling in LA as a minor? It's the complete opposite, I guess, with my team. In a sense, everyone in my team is from out of town. Lars is from New Jersey, Ruby is from Washington, Hiro is from Sacramento, and Dewey and I are from NorCal as well. We left all our obligations already. You know, Lars, Ruby, and Hiro all left their jobs for this. We basically had an open time frame. We would try to have practice twice a day, you know, once before lunch and once after lunch until nighttime, until dinner or whatever. Hiro and I had to spend a lot of extra time making our own choreography and stuff. Spent way more time than we should have on it. Just overthinking it. I'm really thankful that oftentimes I did go kind of brain dead, and so he was there to kind of just keep pushing me, create choreo, create content. By the end of the week, actually, my team had gotten so close together. We would end up eating lunch and dinner together as well in between practices, like a family, because we spent so much time together. 모를 거야. 자다가 일어나 살짝 부은 얼굴이 얼마나 예쁜지 넌 모를 거야.
I would have to say that every time I see their team practice, I would like break down because it's like my connection with my team was not like theirs, and it was very obvious the difference in both of our teams. That week I broke down like 3 times.
And Team 2 got a K-pop song, so they did a cover, and then after they learned the dance and they perfected it, they had a lot of alone time. We understand that like this is a competition. Like we're not all here to like create relationships and whatever. And Sandy was included because her team wasn't having as much practice and stuff. She was always around as well.
Yeah.
And so
they're very nice and welcoming.
yeah, so my team took her, kind of just adopted her as
Yeah.
well. So whenever we went to eat lunch or dinner, like it's like, Sandy, come with us. Like just, you need people. During rehearsal day, which is that Friday.
So rehearsal day is when all the teams come together in one dance studio to like practice their final.
And I think the night before, I stayed up pretty late, but he stayed up all night to finish wrapping things up. And our team had just finished learning choreo and stuff, so we weren't
Solid.
It wasn't solid yet. The nerves were really getting to some of the team members, and some of us did break down. Hiro and I, by the end of that week, we were basically like the parents of the family. That's just kind of how we are too. Seeing my little babies break down like that, like we both broke down too, and it was just a very hard time at the moment.
Yeah.
And Sandy too.
Yeah, during rehearsal day, Team 1 and Team 2 showed up. I was the only person from Team 3 that showed up. And so watching the other teams practice as an actual team and all the work that they put into it made me really sad and depressed. And so I also broke down, and then their team broke down. Before rehearsal day, one of the members actually only showed up to one practice throughout the whole week, but that person only had 1 day to catch up to all of the choreo, but that person learned pretty quick. Yeah.
And you sent videos to them.
Yeah, to learn the choreo, and so that was also one thing that made me really nervous about performance too, is that we were also not solid because not everyone would show up to practice. So our family actually came to watch us for that first week of the performances. And so Friday night we had to check in at the the Airbnb. They didn't get here until like 3 a.m. in the morning. And so when they got here, we were already sleeping.
Yeah.
So
we saw them in the morning.
yeah, we woke up and they were there. Magic. The family and then everyone was getting ready.
Yeah,
and
we made breakfast.
finally head out to the theater. Around 2, because we're supposed to be there by 3. I was like practicing my lines over and over and over again because I auditioned as a dancer, and so vocally I struggled a lot throughout all 4 weeks of this show. I was just like drilling my line. I was like, oh my god, panic.
When we were waiting for the contestants, like I felt really confident about everything for my group. And then when they did show, we did some run-throughs and we felt really comfortable, really confident in ourselves. But this is before we saw the stage and before we saw how the mics were gonna be like, since they're wired.
Wired mics. That's what it is.
Finally did get the chance to go inside to do rehearsals at 4 p.m. Show starts at 5. We got to see what the mics were like. We put them in their places. You know, it's not quite how we imagined, whatever that even means.
Yeah, wired mics were not the best.
Yeah. We had to readjust some things and make some last minute changes, which I think made everyone in the group kind of nervous.
For my team, Messi has had experience with wired mics. She suggested that we do not hold the mics at all, and so all of our mics were on the stands. Our team didn't have any problems with the wired mics, but yours is another story.
Yeah, ours is another story.
first, of course, we went in our orders, like Team 1, Team 2, Team 3.
It was time to perform, like actually perform in front of the judges. It was going really well during the first half, to be honest. Formation to the dance breaks and putting the mics away, I'm like backing off into my position, and I can just see the world unraveling and falling apart right in front of my eyes. And that was the most nerve-wracking thing of my life. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. At the moment, it was just, oh my gosh. Because of the wires, the timing was a tiny bit off. In the corner of my eye, I could just kind of see all these things happening. Everyone's nerves were getting to the best of them. And right when we finished performing, we exited. Everyone just started crying, and I didn't know which fire to put out first, because in that corner, Hero ran off and started crying over there, and then Ruby ran into the restroom and was crying, and then Lars was just like on the ground, and I'm like, oh my gosh, which baby do I take care of first?
I saw them break down too, and so you went to Lars first, and I was like, oh my god, this is so sad, like, oh, what's going on? And so I went to go comfort Hero because he was crying at the corner over there, and it really hurt me too. Like, even though I'm not in their team, it's like them breaking down like that was very painful to witness, and so that really scarred me before my performance.
Some people might wonder, like, why make it such a big deal, but it is such a big deal. You know, like I said before, my whole team came out of town for this. Like, Lars flew from Jersey, left his job, same with Hero, and same with Ruby. So we're all in the same boats, because Team 2, like, a lot of them are also from out of town too.
And so after Team 2 performed, we were up next, and I was very nervous because of what I just witnessed. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this gonna be? What do I have ahead of me? And so we went up there, set up our mics, we performed, and it was going well. I felt good about my performance, besides the singing, but... And then, you know, like, we stayed and the judges gave us, you know, their inputs and stuff. So that happened. And then, elimination time! No, so exciting. 3 of the 5 people at the bottom gets eliminated that day.
Neither of our team was safe from immunity. Team 2 actually won that day.
Yeah.
And they totally deserved it, dude. They were amazing. Ruby ended up going home, getting eliminated. And so more tears, more crying.
And our family was there too. They were sitting in the audience, you know, cheering us on, recording and stuff. After the show was over, our family was just waiting for us. Before we left...
We had to pick teams!
Yes! New team!
We are live. We're here with the remaining 12 contestants for the vote. They are about to draw their new teams for the week. They're all going to open them at the same time. Everyone's nervous. You guys all love each other though, so it's okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey! So this is the new Team 1. Maki, Sandy, Wotway, and Tony.
Yay! New team!
Well, I mean, like, oh my gosh, no, at first I had mixed feelings at the moment.
you left your babies.
Yeah, I left my babies, but then at the same time, like, I know that Moe and Tony are also incredibly talented, and they've been super, like, nice and supportive.
And we were Team 1!
Team 1!
Yes.
Yep. And this would become the dream team. But anyways, we'll get back to that.
The dream team.
Okay, but first, we broke up into our little teams and had like our little team meetings before we separated ways. At first, so I don't know who suggested it, but card was thrown up in the air.
Yeah, because 2 boys and 2 girls, so we almost did a card song, guys.
Almost. I'm real glad we didn't. I mean, like, I love card, but yeah.
Yeah, so we had just like a short meeting, you know, kind of just like think about song ideas that you have, bring them up the next day, you know, we have a meeting on Sunday.
Yeah, we decided to choose a song on Sunday instead of that Saturday night because it's been such a crazy roller coaster day that it didn't make sense to make a quick decision right away. And we had our family waiting for us too. So
Yeah, and so after the whole show was over, we went back to our family's Airbnb that they stayed at, and they did a little celebration for my brother and my birthday.
It was still like late June, early July at that time, and her birthday's in mid-July, so.
Yeah, and so they won't be able to be there for me, and so they decided to celebrate my birthday earlier, and so we did a little celebration for my birthday, and just like yeah, congrats, first week, done.
The next morning, we spent our first half of the day with our family before they left back. The drive is like 6-7 hours, so they had to leave around 2 or 3 p.m. We went to like Little Tokyo, Chinatown with them, and just kind of hung out with them.
Because we won't be seeing them for the next 3 weeks.
Yep. And then that's basically that first week.
First week wrap up for you guys. Yeah. Alrighty, so that will be our wrap up for the first week in LA for the vote. But
stay tuned for parts 2, 3, and 4.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.